morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today I come to you with, I'm going to be blunt, it's not good news. You see, Pokemon TCG UK over on Twitter just dropped this message, which is going to make a bunch of people, including me, a little bit sad. Due to challenges impacting product delivery dates, the release of the upcoming Pokemon trading card game Mega Evolution will be slightly delayed in EMEA markets. We apologise to our fans and understand that this news may be disappointing. It is. We are working hard alongside our logistics partners to ensure products will be available for purchase from the 10th of October. We would like to thank our community for their continued support and patience. Yes, it's bad news. Mega Evolution is being delayed in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. That's what EMEA means. Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Hey, Walsey, I'm over there in the US. Is this going to affect me? Probably not. But there's a couple of things which are very important here. Number one, it's actually quite important to note that, you know, at the moment it's been announced for Europe, but can we guarantee it's not going to happen anywhere else? I don't know. Be aware. The likelihood is, by the way, it probably is just Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Essentially, there's different companies handling the logistics in other regions like the US that don't seem to be as affected. That'll be fine. But what about if you're going to tournaments over in Europe? Because when I heard this news, I went, right, all right, so it's going to be out on the 10th of October. That's a 2-week delay from the original release date of the 26th of September. Now, I've gone and checked with some of my Pokemon Judge friends, and they tell me that because it is only delayed in Europe, that won't affect set legality. Set legality is tied to the US release date, so it's coming legal on the 10th of October, which is the date that it actually releases. So I headed on over to the tournament locator, or, you know, the regional list over on the Pokemon website to see what was going on here. Now, I must apologise because as it stands at the moment, I can't see events in Middle East and Africa, so I'm talking about Europe. And there is a very relevant tournament we can talk about, and that is Leal Regionals. Leal Regionals are happening October the 25th to October the 26th. Now, as it happens at the moment, that's still a bit of a buffer. That's more than 2 weeks later. So even if it makes the timescale for getting cards a little bit tighter, the cards should be out 2 weeks before Leal, and Leal, in theory, should be fine. Because as I said, the legality isn't changing, so in theory, if we have more delays, it's still going to be legal for Leal. Now, the reality is, let's say there are more delays and it doesn't come out until after Leal, that I imagine something would be done there. But as it stands at the moment, legality isn't changing. The set is still going to be legal for Leal. And the biggest thing is going to be the speed with which you have to go and pick up cards. Instead of having 4 weeks to go and get cards now, you're only going to have 2 weeks to go and get cards from the new set. If you want to be using cards for the new set, that's going to be potentially an issue. And the thing is, right now over in Japan, well, the best decks are still Dragapult and Gardevoir. I'm going to be honest with you. Japan are playing in the Mega Evolution format right now, and the top 2 decks are still Gardevoir and Dragapult, and they seem to be flip-flopping a little bit, but those are the top 2 decks. A bit of a margin. Yeah, new Gardevoir needs Mega Gardevoir EX. Mega Gardevoir EX, the list I've seen generally see it as a 2 of. I'm not saying that's definitely going to be the case over here. I'm not saying nothing's going to change. I'm saying the lists I'm seeing coming out of Japan generally see it as a 2 of. You need Gardevoir for new Gardevoir. We need Mega Gardevoir for new Gardevoir. Might be a less confusing way to say it. It's an important card. But also, Mega Lucario seems to be a legitimate deck. Not on the level of Gardevoir or Dragapult, not claiming it is, but it does seem to be a legitimate deck. Similarly, Venusaur seems to be a legitimate deck, and Mega Manectric seems to be a legitimate deck. These are cards and decks which are seeing play over in Japan right now. And, Lucario, Venusaur, and Manectric, I'm not claiming they're like the top 3 decks in the format. They're not. They are seeing significant play. They are rocking, it depends on the week and the deck and all of that, somewhere in the region of like 3% of the metagame. No, it's not huge, but that makes them significant decks. When people like PokeCardBook go and make their metagame analyses over on Twitter, it gets onto the graphic. And any deck that gets onto the graphic that people like PokeCardBook make, they need to be taken seriously. See where I'm going with this? Those are decks which have a lot of new cards on them. They are decks which play a lot of the new cards, and that means that you are going to need a bunch of Mega Evolution in order to actually get that, or you're going to need to buy singles. But even if you're going to buy singles from resellers aren't getting them until 2 weeks later, which makes it much more difficult to get hold of. No, the legality for Leal has not changed, but the speed with which you need to get cards if you're going to be building using Mega Evolution, that has just been cut in half. And I am not saying there's going to be more delays coming. I don't know. But I'm saying it is within the realms of possibility. Look at the wording. We are working hard to ensure products will be available for purchase from the 10th of October. That's not some guarantee. That's not saying we will definitely have them. That's saying we're working hard to make it happen. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably. I think they'll be out then. But I can't guarantee that, and that's not what it says on the release that we've seen. So the point I'm making here is keep a close eye on this, because there's still a lot of unknowns, although obviously I will keep you up to date if there's anything there is you need to know that comes out later. Take pre-releases, for instance. What's going on with pre-releases? Now, again, I've gone and chatted to some of my friends who run pre-releases and asked them what their opinion is. Nobody seems to know, as I record this, nobody seems to know exactly what's going on, whether they're being delayed or what. But it is worth noting that pre-release stock and regular stock is not the same. Pre-release stock is your build and battle kits and booster boxes, but the booster boxes are giving like a couple packs to everyone that turns up. So it's, 1 or 2 booster boxes to most stores. It's not that many boxes. It's a fairly small amount of actual packs comparatively to a full release. So generally speaking, that is dealt with differently. The logistics of that are different. Just because the main release is delayed does not mean the pre-release is delayed. Right now, the pre-release, until we're told otherwise, the pre-release is still scheduled for the weekend of Saturday the 13th and Saturday the 20th. Maybe that changes. Maybe they get delayed by 2 weeks. Maybe they don't, and we just have the pre-releases and a 2-week gap, then the set. Until we're told otherwise, it's best to assume that the set release has changed, but the pre-releases haven't. And it's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but as it stands at the moment, 2 weeks isn't that big of a deal, if we're honest. Now, the biggest impact here is going to be making it harder for players to get cards for Leo. That is a big deal. But in reality, we get the set 2 weeks later. It's a little disappointing. I want the set early, just like you do. It doesn't actually matter if it comes out 2 weeks later. We're all going to look at people in places like North America with incredible jealousy. But it doesn't actually matter if they get it a couple weeks before us. It's sad. We don't like it. We'd rather it didn't happen. We're going to be jealous and a bit grumpy. But it doesn't actually matter if they get it a couple weeks early. It's not affecting any tournaments other than the speed with which you need to get cards for Leo. And we're not given any information about pre-releases. So in theory, that should be the same. The way I see pre-releases essentially is pre-releases is only build and battle kits and booster boxes, and a much lower number of them than you get on the main release. So essentially they're working to a different schedule, but I don't expect them to go away or anything silly like that. even though the set isn't out on the 10th of October, until we're told otherwise, I would assume that the pre-releases will still be the 2 preceding weekends. As always, if anything changes, I will let you know. For now, I've told you what you need to know, I've told you what the deal is, and I've told you all the results of it, so now it's over to you guys. Are you living in one of these areas and you're frankly a little bit sad? Are you okay waiting an extra 2 weeks? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Uncle Poker Peter, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.